You know, for some time now, we've been traveling all over the country and beyond, profiling incredible Corvette collections and their owners. And that's exactly what we were doing with Lance Miller a while back in Pennsylvania. It was during an interview with Lance that I learned of a story involving the first Corvettes to ever compete at the famed Le Mans 24-hour endurance race in France back in 1960. Now, one of those Corvettes attained immortality by winning its class and placing 8th overall. And then it disappeared for decades. Well, that car is at the center of a multi-layered, heart-tugging story, which became the documentary film, The Quest. At the recent Corvettes at Carlisle event, our Corvette Nation cameras caught up with Lance Miller, restorer Kevin McKay, and the real star of the film, the number 3 1960 Corvette.
Kevin, I gotta tell you, my favorite car of all time is without a doubt the 60 Le Mans car. And you know why. Tell us the history of it a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, Lance, honestly, Dad and I go way back, and it was Dad's dream actually to own the 1960 Cunningham Corvette one day, because that was the year he actually graduated high school. And it's just amazing that a dream actually did come true.
Hey, we're fortunate to have it in our family, and I'm so thankful you found it. I just love the look of it. I love the red lights on the front, and it was red, white, and blue. I know Cunningham was all about that, you know, America. And this car stands for just that.
What's neat about the car also is that actually it's the first American effort for a Corvette, 1960. Incredible.
It really is. And again, it's definitely one of my favorites. I love Briggs Cunningham, great guy, amazing what he's created throughout his life. John Fitch, obviously became great friends. He's just the ultimate guy. I love him, I miss him. He just recently passed away.
Well, I tell you, we're very fortunate and blessed, both of us, to have a chance to go up there and follow your father's dream back in 2010 at Le Mans, and having Fitch by our side, actually driving behind the wheel of the car. It was incredible.
Oh, think about it, 50 years later, and then to have a film made, The Quest. Michael Brown did a great job on that, and I'm thankful that it all came together. It's funny, I used to take this car to the show, people didn't even know what it was. And then after The Quest, everybody wants it. So it's kind of neat, the new history that we've created.
Well, you know, it is a part of history, and I'm glad that the public out there are getting a good education of what this is all about it, because this really is American history, where we're at right now.
Kevin, I know it was a big job locating the car, and I commend you for the effort. Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, after we're talking to your dad about his all-time favorite car was, you know, one of the Cunningham cars, and knowing that the number 2 car was found back in the early 80s, and your dad's exact expression was, when I first saw that number 2 car fully restored at Monterey back in 1987, I almost fainted. That was his exact words. I said, you know, Chip, there's still 2 more cars out there. The 1 car and the 3 car have not been found. Let's see if we can hunt them down. So we went after it, and after some persistent efforts, actually sending letters to Le Mans, no response at all, I found out that maybe, since they can't speak English too well, maybe we could do it in French. So I went to a French school, had a letter drawn up, sent a bouquet of flowers in good gesture about maybe we can find out the history on these Cunningham cars. And about 6 months later, I was able to get a fax copy of all the serial numbers of all the cars that went to Le Mans. And this car here was actually found in St. Louis. The guy who had it was converted back to a street driver. It was a red car, and the guy didn't have a clue what he had. And almost 30 years of restoring Corvettes for a living, full time. This, by far, was most challenging. And the reason why, everything was missing on the car. Like I said, it was converted back to a street car. So the hood was missing, the Halliburton wheels were missing, the T170 Firestone tires were missing, the headlight covers, the louvers in the front, actually, the Sebring exhaust on the back, on the side of the car were missing.
Let's talk about these a little bit.
Well, I tell you one thing. That actually, they were actually duplicated from a Ferrari, an old early Ferrari from the 50s. Of course, the fighter seats, the seats itself came out of a fighter plane. Actually, they were jumper seats. And if you notice, a lot of things were even de-chromed on the car. But one of the most interesting things that I like about the car is that the wiper assembly itself, usually, as you know, on early Corvette, almost any year Corvette, they're always on the outside of the body. These were moved in on the center part of it, and the reason why, doing maybe 150 miles an hour, sometimes the wipers would kind of clash like this, so they moved it from the outside into the inside. This way they slide like this way they don't clash anymore. So that was also a telltale sign when we found this car converted back to a street driver. We stripped that area there, and sure enough, the hole was there, because at one time somebody brought it back to the outside of the car.
That's awesome. You know what? Somebody asks me every single time they look at this car, what's this little light do? It's real simple, right?
Well, we have 3 identical cars, numbered 1, 2, and 3, which is really cool. I mean, typical American colors, red, white, and blue. So with actually identification lights, actually going around the track, you can see the little lights on the car, and that's why you can identify the car itself.
Another cool thing, the exhaust.
Exhaust is just really, really, really neat. You get that thumping sound, you know, when you start up and when revving here, and it's just really slick. And actually, when we stripped that car down here, the patch area where they used to be, we just popped it out, and that actual cutout was still there.
And another feature. I mean, the car just keeps going on. The more you walk around, the cooler it is. Another light.
Well, the light itself actually identified the number on the car, because of course at nighttime, how you can see the car at nighttime? So the light would actually reflect off the number, and you can see what number it was.
It's just a cool car. I'm amazed by it, and again, I'm so thankful to own it.
Well, I tell you, it was a team effort. We have a shop called Corvette Repair and Value in Long Island, New York, and I tell you, if it wasn't for my team, we wouldn't be today standing here looking at this car, because it really took a tremendous amount of hours. We had about almost 4,000 man hours on this car here. It took probably at least over 100 people just to help us out getting certain artifact parts for the car and hunting things down. It was really a team effort from a lot of Corvette enthusiasts around the country.
Well, great job. And I know you always thank your team. You're a smart man, because obviously I know you don't do it all, but the work they do is just phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a lot of passion, and we really had a lot of fun doing it.